1974, Sacramento, a city known for its serene river views and historic charm. But beneath the surface of this picturesque city, a dark shadow was about to be cast. A chill settled over the city. It wasn't the cool breeze of the American river, it was an unsettling, pervasive fear that crept into the hearts of its residents. The kind of fear that makes you double-check your locks and peer nervously out of your windows. It was fear. A prowler lurked in the shadows. He was a phantom, a ghostly figure that seemed to vanish as quickly as he appeared. His presence was felt more than seen, a sinister aura that hung over the city like a dark cloud. He crept into homes, masked and armed. His targets? Young couples. He was methodical, choosing his victims with care, studying their routines and striking when they least expected it. The sanctity of home was shattered, replaced by a sense of vulnerability and dread. His reign of terror began with sexual assaults. Women, bound and gagged, endured unimaginable horrors. The trauma he inflicted was not just physical but psychological, leaving scars that would never fully heal. The fear of the unknown, the terror of being watched, haunted his victims long after the attacks. The city lived in fear. Who was this monster? The question echoed through the streets, whispered in hushed tones among neighbors. The sense of community was replaced by suspicion and paranoia. Every stranger was a potential threat, every shadow a hiding place for the predator. Police were baffled. The assailant, meticulous and cunning, left few clues behind. He was a master of evasion, slipping through the fingers of law enforcement time and time again. The frustration of the police was palpable, their determination to catch him growing with each passing day. The press dubbed him the East Area Rapist, a name that would soon be replaced with a far more chilling moniker. The media frenzy added to the fear, as headlines screamed of his latest atrocities and news reports detailed his brutal methods. The city was gripped by a collective anxiety, a sense of impending doom. Every creak of a floorboard, every rustle of leaves outside a window, sent shivers down the spines of Sacramento residents. The ordinary sounds of the night became harbingers of terror, each one a reminder of the predator lurking in the darkness. Sleep was a luxury few could afford, as the fear of the unknown kept them awake. The city held its breath, waiting for the next attack, praying it wouldn't be them. Families huddled together, seeking comfort in numbers, but the fear was always there, a constant companion. The sense of safety that once defined their homes was gone, replaced by a pervasive sense of dread. The police worked tirelessly, creating composite sketches and following up on leads. They interviewed witnesses, pieced together evidence, and tried to predict his next move, but the East Area Rapist was always one step ahead, a ghostly figure that seemed to vanish into thin air. Community meetings were held and neighborhood watch programs were established. Residents banded together, determined to protect their homes and families. They shared information, kept a vigilant eye on their surroundings, and took every precaution to stay safe. But the fear remained, an ever-present shadow that loomed over their lives. The survivors of his attacks came forward, their stories a testament to their strength and resilience. They spoke of the terror they endured, the nightmares that haunted them, and the courage it took to rebuild their lives. Their voices were a powerful reminder of the human cost of his reign of terror. The police made public appeals for information, offering rewards for any leads that could help catch the East Area Rapist. The community rallied behind them, desperate for justice and an end to the nightmare. The sense of urgency grew with each passing day, as the predator continued to elude capture. Advances in forensic science offered a glimmer of hope. DNA testing, a relatively new technology at the time, became a crucial tool in the investigation. Forensic experts meticulously analyzed evidence, hoping to find the key that would unlock the mystery of the East Area Rapist's identity. Despite the fear, life in Sacramento went on. Children played in the parks, families enjoyed picnics, and the city tried to maintain a sense of normalcy. But the shadow of the East Area Rapist was always there, a dark cloud that hung over the city, a constant reminder of the terror that lurked in the night. Candlelight vigils were held for the victims, a somber reminder of the lives shattered by his attacks. The community came together to mourn, to remember, and to find strength in each other. The sense of solidarity was a beacon of hope in the darkness, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. After years of fear and uncertainty, the breakthrough finally came. The East Area Rapist was arrested, his reign of terror brought to an end. The sense of relief was palpable, a collective sigh of relief that echoed through the streets of Sacramento. Justice had been served, and the city could finally begin to heal. As the sun rose over the American River, Sacramento began to reclaim its sense of peace. The fear that had gripped the city for so long began to fade, replaced by a renewed sense of hope. The scars of the past would never fully heal, but the city was determined to move forward, to rebuild, and to remember the strength and resilience that had carried them through the darkest of times. The East Area rapists' crimes escalated. What began as a series of burglaries and sexual assaults soon transformed into something far more sinister. The perpetrator, who initially targeted women alone in their homes, began to evolve in his methods and his desires. His early crimes were marked by a chilling precision and a methodical approach. But as time went on, his need for control and dominance grew insatiable. The monster craved more than just control. He sought to instill fear, to leave a lasting mark on his victims and the communities they lived in. His attacks became more violent, more unpredictable. The once quiet neighborhoods of California were now shrouded in a blanket of fear as the shadow of the East Area rapist loomed large. He craved blood, his attacks turned deadly. The escalation was swift and brutal. No longer content with merely terrorizing his victims, he began to take lives. The bloodstains on the pavement were a grim reminder of his presence, a testament to the horror he inflicted. The quiet residential streets, once a symbol of safety and tranquility, were now scenes of unimaginable violence. Couples, once his sole victims, were now brutally murdered in their homes. The sanctity of the home was shattered, as the East Area rapist, now known as the original Night Stalker, invaded the most private and intimate spaces. The broken windows and police investigation markers were stark symbols of the terror that had taken root in these communities. The body count rose. Panic gripped California. The once bustling streets were now filled with anxious faces, as the fear of the unknown gripped the state. The media coverage was relentless, with each new attack adding to the growing sense of dread. The public was desperate for answers, for a sense of security that seemed increasingly out of reach. The East Area rapist, now known as the original Night Stalker, became a statewide nightmare. Law enforcement agencies across California were on high alert, their resources stretched thin as they tried to anticipate his next move. The police presence was a constant reminder of the danger that lurked in the shadows, but despite their best efforts, the killer remained elusive. From Sacramento to Southern California, his reign of terror spread. The map of California became a grim tapestry of his crimes, with each city marker representing a community forever changed by his actions. The aerial views of these cities, once symbols of progress and prosperity, now carried the weight of his atrocities. Fear was a constant companion. Families slept with guns under their pillows. The sense of security that once defined suburban life was replaced by a pervasive fear. Parents tucked their children into bed with a sense of dread, knowing that the night could bring unimaginable horrors. The guns under their pillows were a desperate attempt to reclaim some semblance of control in a world turned upside down. Doors were bolted, windows nailed shut. Police were desperate. The measures taken by families to protect themselves were extreme, but necessary. The bolted doors and nailed shut windows were physical barriers against a threat that seemed unstoppable. Meanwhile, law enforcement was in a race against time, their desperation growing with each passing day. The killer was a phantom, slipping through their fingers. Despite the extensive manhunts and the countless hours spent poring over evidence, the original Night Stalker remained one step ahead. He was a ghost, a shadow that eluded capture time and time again. The frustration and helplessness felt by the police were palpable, as they struggled to bring an end to his reign of terror. Years turned into decades. The case went cold. The headlines that once dominated the news faded into the background, replaced by new stories and new tragedies. The dusty police file rooms were filled with unsolved cases, each one a testament to the lives forever altered by the original Night Stalker. The passage of time did little to heal the wounds left by his crimes, but the victims and the families of those murdered never forgot. The candlelight vigils were a poignant reminder of the lives lost and the pain endured. The photographs of loved ones held by grieving families were a testament to the enduring impact of his actions. The memories of those who suffered at his hands were kept alive by those who refused to let their stories be forgotten. They clung to the hope that one day their tormentor would be brought to justice. The hope for justice was a beacon of light in the darkness, a source of strength for those who had lost so much. The courtroom scenes, filled with hopeful faces, were a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The quest for justice was a long and arduous journey, but it was one that they were determined to see through to the end.